Hi, it's Karen here from the Learning Cauldron. I've got a few books here that I'd like to show you today to do with language learning, French and German specifically, as those are my two. Higher French past papers, higher German past papers. Very useful resource, although you can get them for free online. One slight quibble I would have with these is that I slightly object to paying money to have pages like this. Now I know that those are in the exam, but I do feel it's a slight cheek making you pay for a book where several of the pages in each case are actually just lines. Although these are great resources, you can get these papers online without having to pay for the blank pages. If you're wanting to practice some basic grammar for, say, Nat 5, or maybe even slightly before that, this is a really good set of books that I found. It's a company called Cauldron, and they do basic French starting from literally elementary level up. And it's got lots of practice exercises where you can practice plurals, singulars, grammatical problems, conjugating verbs, etc. It's very user-friendly for a younger student, and it does encourage people to want to practice their French. So Cauldron certainly has my vote there. Learning vocabulary for higher, Nat 5, advanced higher, whichever, although these books are specifically for GCSE and then advanced level, I found them very useful for encouraging vocabulary learning for any exam system. Inside, they have got a whole host of different topics, and also some of the print is blue and some is black. The blue ones are the words that you really should know, and the black are things that if you could learn, that would be great. But it's super having the color coding as well. So you can do the lower level, but also the advanced level, where the topics are slightly different. The sorts of topics that you would be covering for higher, advanced higher, and A-level. Learning grammar is never much fun, unless you're sad like me and like grammar. So therefore, when you find a resource where learning grammar is fun, it's great to recommend it to others. La grammaire en clair. And what it is French grammar through cartoons. So each of the exercises has a set of cartoons which focuses on the particular grammatical issue that is being learnt in that exercise. It just makes learning grammar a little bit more interesting. It's got some exercises here, and you can buy a version that has the answers as well. Learning verbs can be hard work, but there are resources available to help. Here, if you're doing French or German, we have 501 French verbs and 501 German verbs, which are fully conjugated in all the tenses. This might look daunting, it is, but I can assure you when you're looking for a particular part or a tense of a verb, it's an absolute godsend. So if you're doing, I would say, higher and advanced higher or A-level, probably too advanced for Nat 5, but it's a great resource, so well worth considering adding to your library of foreign language books. And one final book is this one. No prizes for spotting that it's handwritten and not published by an official publisher. It's actually my own vocabulary book from the year that I spent abroad during my university degree. And what I wanted to show you is that you can be learning all the time. This was over a period of 5 months. But every new word that I learnt in German, I wrote here. The German down the left-hand side, and then the English down the right-hand side. It meant that I was constantly learning every day, but without having to make too much effort. If I heard a word I didn't know, I just asked someone what it was and made a note, and then that night wrote it up. So that I ended up with a really good learning resource by the end of the year. And I didn't leave it all to the last day to learn, because to try and learn that number of words in the night before the exam is just not going to happen. So take your time, make sure you take vocabulary as you go, and gradually over the course of a year, you will suddenly find that your vocabulary has grown. If we take an example, even if you were to learn one new English vocabulary word every day with its meaning, over the course of a year, you would end up with 365 new words in your vocabulary. Multiply that up over 5 years, 10 years, and you can see how over time these little improvements can add up to a very big improvement. And one last thing, which I'm passionate about, when you're learning a new word in French, German, and the same would apply to Spanish, Italian, etc., always learn it with the gender, because if you learn it that way the first time round, you won't have to go back and relearn all your vocabulary again later when the grammar gets harder and you do need to know which gender words are. Good luck.